Welcome to Session 3 of the JCT Geography Cluster CPD Day 2019-2020. A reminder again that there is a resource booklet that accompanies this screencast and is available to download from the Geography section of the JCT website. As you can see from our learning intentions, in Session 3 we are going to focus on developing our understanding of the SLAR process and explore our understanding of how students reflect on their learning in junior cycle geography. Returning to the process for completion of Classroom-Based Assessment 1, Geography in the News, which we started in Session 2, we will now focus on the Subject, Learning and Assessment Review. In Subject, Learning and Assessment Review meetings, otherwise known as SLAR meetings, we bring samples of our own students' work and compare and discuss our judgments with our colleagues. Subject Learning and Assessment Review meetings, or SLAR meetings, are held following the completion of each classroom-based assessment and should be conducted within 1 month of completion of the CBA. As junior cycle teachers, we will engage in SLAR meetings where we share and discuss samples of student work and build common understanding about the quality of student learning. SLAR meetings enable us as teachers to work collaboratively as a subject department. Over time, your understanding of the features of quality and standards will develop. Discussions during the SLAR meeting allow for greater consistency of judgment, which in turn will inform the ongoing feedback we give to our students. The SLAR meeting provides us with the space to share teaching, learning, and assessment practices. The SLAR process also gives reassurance to parents that students receive the appropriate recognition of their achievements in line with standards and expectations. Teachers' collective and collaborative practices are encouraged and promoted in the Junior Cycle Framework and Looking at Our Schools 2016, a quality framework. In terms of the SLAR practicalities, a SLAR meeting will be approximately 2 hours long. The SLAR meeting will only involve a review of student work directly related to the CBA. The meeting should take place as near as possible to the completion of the CBA and no longer than 1 month after the CBA. The role of facilitator will normally be rotated among the geography teachers in the department, so that each teacher can develop their own skills as a facilitator. The facilitator will be allocated 2 additional hours by school management to prepare and coordinate the review meeting. Where there's a single teacher of a subject in a school, the teacher can be facilitated to participate in a SLAR meeting in another school. When collaborating with teachers from other schools, it may be beneficial to decide upon the date for the SLAR before embarking on the CBA process. This will allow teachers time to plan for the CBA within their own individual context. It is also important to remember that single teachers of a subject in separate schools can use Skype or other digital platforms to conduct the SLAR meeting. Returning to our timeline, as we know already, the CBA is conducted over 3 weeks and should be viewed as part of the teaching and learning and not solely for assessment purposes. When teachers initially assess their own students' work, they apply a provisional descriptor. The SLAR meeting takes place within a month of completion of the CBA. After the SLAR meeting, each teacher considers the assessment of their own students' work based on the outcomes of the SLAR meeting, and where necessary, makes the appropriate adjustments to their provisional descriptors. A record of the final descriptors awarded is kept by the class teacher and is shared with the students and also with the school principal. The final descriptors are used in reporting progress and achievement to parents or guardians and students as part of the school's ongoing reporting procedures, and also through the Junior Cycle Profile of Achievement, otherwise known as the JCPA. If you look at page 20 of your booklet, you will see some guidelines on what you do before, during, and after the SLAR meeting. I would like you to take time to pause the screencast now and for 3 minutes read each section of the SLAR meeting process and become familiar with both the role of the teacher and facilitator. Following the subject learning and assessment review meeting, the facilitator submits a report of the meeting to the principal. A template of the facilitator's report, as shown on the screen, can be found on page 35 of the NCCA's assessment guidelines. In a moment, I'm going to show you a video of a science SLAR meeting, and even though it is a different subject, the process remains the same. It is an example of authentic teaching practice that the teachers of Coláiste Trasa, Kanturk, County Cork, were kind enough to share with us. You will see from this video the professional discussions the teachers engaged in. I'd like you to watch the video and focus on the role of the facilitator and the skills they demonstrated, the collaborative practice shown by the teachers, and the use of the features of quality as set out in the NCCA's assessment guidelines. As you listen to the video, a template can be found on page 21 of your booklet to record your thoughts. Please pause the screencast now for approximately 5 minutes to watch the video of a SLAR meeting and record your thoughts on page 21 of your booklet. The video is also available to watch on Geography section of the JCT website under CPD Workshop 2019-2020, shown on the screen. Within our subject departments, we may have adopted roles and ways of interacting with each other, which have developed over time. In the SLAR meeting, it is important to remember that we are all professionals, engaging in the process of sharing and discussing our students' work so that we can build a common understanding about the quality of their learning. It is important that everyone feels safe and relaxed in expressing their opinions and asking questions. In terms of the SLAR meeting in action, each subject department will conduct a SLAR meeting following the completion of each CBA. In planning and conducting a SLAR meeting, it is important to take the following steps. The first step is to nominate a facilitator within your subject department. When the SLAR meeting starts, the facilitator will start the process of introducing the pieces of work, beginning with a provisional descriptor of yet to meet expectations. This is followed by in line with expectations, and so on. The facilitator leads the discussion and directs teachers to the features of quality which you can find on pages 14 and 16 of your booklet. If consensus is reached, this is noted by the facilitator, and the group moves on to the next piece of work. Use the on balance and best fit approach to reach a consensus about the quality of the student's work. To encourage participation and professional dialogue, it is important that, where possible, each teacher gets the opportunity to introduce and discuss their students' work. At the end of the SLAR process, the facilitator will complete and submit the agreed facilitator's report to the principal. In terms of reaching consensus, during the SLAR meeting, if you cannot reach consensus about the quality of a piece of work, use the on balance and best fit approach and look at the annotated examples of student work available on the Curriculum Online website. The facilitator can then decide to put the piece of work to one side or on ice. The teachers may be able to make a more informed judgment about the quality of the students' work later on in the SLAR meeting. Another option would be to ask effective questions in relation to the features of quality. For example, are these insightful conclusions or are they relevant conclusions? Following the outcomes of the subject learning and assessment review meeting, each individual teacher considers the provisional descriptors they apply to their students' work, and where necessary, makes the appropriate adjustments to the level of achievement awarded. These final descriptors are then shared with the students in class and are used in reporting progress and achievement to parents, guardians, as part of the school's ongoing reporting procedures. They are also recorded by the school for reporting in the Junior Cycle Profile of Achievement, or JCPA, as shown on the screen. Providing effective feedback is a crucial step in using CBA1, Geography in the News, to support student learning. However, effective feedback goes beyond the naming of the descriptor awarded. Feedback on the strengths of the student's work and on areas for improvement can be used to support their future learning. In terms of student reflection, you can see here Toolkit Booklet 4 from the NCCA Focus on Learning series, which provides information which could be used for staff CPD or for individual teachers to gain a deeper understanding about student reflection. Through reflection, students become more aware of their strengths and areas for improvement in moving their learning forward. When students reflect on their learning and engage in setting goals, they take greater responsibility for their own learning. Reflection on their learning also helps students become more focused and motivated in their work. It improves self-esteem as students reflect on what they have done well and what they need to do to improve. This creates a positive learning environment. When we give students the skills to look at their own work and others critically and constructively, they begin to understand the features of quality. They recognize their own areas for improvement by working with others. As students reflect, they will develop a range of key skills of junior cycle, such as managing myself, communicating, working with others, and managing information and thinking. So how can students reflect on their learning? Students can reflect at any stage of their learning. There are many ways that students can reflect. They can write about their learning, talk about their learning, make a video of their learning, set goals for their learning, use peer self-assessment, and log their reflection by keeping a portfolio or e-portfolio depending on the school context. Take this opportunity to pause the screencast now and spend 5 minutes recording the ways you get your students to reflect on their learning using page 22 of your booklet. In terms of the assessment task, evaluation and student reflection is an important aspect of CBA2. To help you support your students in reflecting on CBA2, there is a sample reflection and evaluation template on page 21 of the booklet. This is also available in the NCCA's assessment guidelines. The assessment task is at common level. The student's response is written into a booklet and is submitted to the State Examinations Commission for marking as part of the State Certified Examination for Geography. The assessment task is directly related to the student's experience of completing the classroom-based assessment. The assessment task will be allocated 10% of the marks available for this examination. Please pause the screencast for 3 minutes and read through the reflective aspects of learning which will be included in the assessment task. Returning to our slide on the learning journey in Junior Cycle Geography, we can see that as part of the process of completing CBA2 My Geography, students complete an assessment task. The Junior Cycle Profile of Achievement, or JCPA, is awarded to students when they are in transition year or 5th year. It is a record of their achievement over the 3 years of junior cycle. In the event that a student does not submit any work for their classroom-based assessment, a descriptor cannot be awarded as there's no work to judge against the features of quality. In these cases, not reported should be selected when inputting results for the JCPA. As soon as our students enter first year and begin engaging with junior cycle geography, it is important that we use the language of assessment in junior cycle with them. For summative assessment moments, such as tests, the language used is achieved, merit, higher merit, and so on. If a student is following the Level 2 learning programme, L2LPs, the priority learning units they have achieved are reported on. Only priority learning units that have been achieved will be included on the JCPA. The JCPA also reports on other areas of learning. It is also important that we as teachers also reflect on our learning journey. You have an opportunity now to consider the questions on the screen. Please take the time to pause the screencast for 5 minutes to reflect and make notes using page 22 of your booklet. You can use these notes to support planning in your subject department at a later stage. This reflective process of creating a department roadmap aligns itself to the teacher collective and collaborative practice that we referred to earlier when we mentioned Looking at Our Schools 2016, a quality framework. Returning to our learning intentions. In Workshop 1, we further developed our understanding of learning outcomes as part of the planning process and deepened our understanding of the teaching, learning and assessment processes involved in CPA1. In Workshop 2, we deepened our understanding of how to complete a CBA in junior cycle geography and explored the features of quality for CPA1 geography in the news. And in Workshop 3, we developed our understanding of the SLAR process and explored our understanding of how students may reflect on their learning in junior cycle geography. Don't forget that some of the resources used and in the development of these screencasts can be found on page 23 of your booklet. The key websites referenced throughout are on page 24 of the booklet. For additional resources and notifications about events and webinars, please check out the Geography section of the JCT website on a regular basis. And follow us on Twitter at JC for Teachers and at JCT Geography.